Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and maintenance. Today we're going to talk about how 80% of your weight loss and maintenance is psychological. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, especially from the psychological point of view, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, Naturopathic Earth, which has tons of articles and recipes, my podcast, The Awakened Man, my books, and if you really appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal. All right, so I think probably the most fundamental episode I have here, and I have a playlist called the foundational episodes, which are kind of like what I think are the most important ones, is the one where I talk about, I think it's titled The Number One Thing You Must Do for Weight Loss, is changing your paradigm and adjusting your paradigm. And I talk about in that episode how most people who have a disordered relationship with food, it's because of some sort of childhood trauma. And we can use the example that I've used before. When a 3-year-old says they're hungry, you could put a cornucopia of food in front of them and they're just going to eat until they're not full or about to vomit because they overate, until they're just no longer hungry and they walk away. Obese people, kids who grew up and became overweight, don't have that. They don't understand that mechanism. And you could apply this to alcohol, drugs, whatever it is. You can apply it as well. So the real key to weight loss and to weight maintenance after you lose weight, because weight maintenance is harder than weight loss, because people have crash dieted, and then what do? They yo-yo it back up because they haven't changed their paradigm. But the number one key is you got to do the hard work and figure out, why do you have a disordered relationship with food? It could be physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, host of things that made you turn to food. I talk about in the confession series. Father was a mercurial alcoholic. Mother was depressed all the time. Didn't get nurturing as a child. So of course I don't have access to the booze. I had access to Cheetos at a very young age, and I just ate my feelings. So look, weight loss is 80, I would say 90% psychological. I don't think this is some gigantic epiphany. I think you know this. Because what is hindering weight loss? It's on the head. Depending on where you're at this time. If you're overweight and you're not losing the weight or not trying to lose the weight, it's all here, right? You rationalize, well, I can't do it. We have an episode here on watch out for negativistic thinking, right? The quitter mentality, the loser mentality. I can't do it. I don't have the right gym shorts. I don't have a gym membership. Even though you can just go walk outside or do push-ups or the best you can of doing core exercises. There's always an excuse, but that's all mental. It's all mental. If you suffer from disordered eating, let's say binge eating or bulimia nervosa or whatever it is, binge eating disorder, BED, it's all up here, right? You feel this pressure cooker building up, man. I know, man. I was there for decades. The pressure cooker building up. And you get antsy. I need food. You go to the drive-thru, you're mad when there's a long line, or you go to the grocery store, you have all your food, and you're mad that there's a long line there. You need that first bite, and as soon as you take the first bite, it's the best bite you've ever had on the planet, and it just releases this pressure. Kind of like with cutters. Cutters are the same way. Cutters cut because they need to relieve the pain that they have from other parts of their life, and the cutting makes them focus on that pain. So then you eat it, and then every subsequent bite of the binge is not as good, right? And then after the binge, what do you feel? And then you self-loathe. Rinse, lather, repeat pretty much every day. But that's psychological. That's why cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is good for people with binge eating issues. You're losing weight, then you platform after 2 weeks. Oh, I can't get these next 10 pounds with the scale staying the same. I'm just going to give up. Psychological. See, most of the time, weight loss and losing weight is not going to be metabolic. We used to have this kind of excuse early on. Why is Debbie fat? Well, Debbie's got a metabolic issue. That's always excuses. It's excuses. We talked about in the body positive movement episode. These are all excuses. Let's call a spade a spade. From one former fat person to a potentially fat person right now, or former fat person. Let's be honest. We have a disordered relationship with food. Let's just be honest. It's the elephant in the room. We can say, oh, my thyroid is underperforming, which can happen as you get older, certainly. Or there's something wrong with my pancreas and I can't release insulin or produce insulin like type 2 diabetics say. Or, whatever it is. And some of these are legitimate medical reasons. But either way, you can reduce your caloric intake. As I talked about in the episode, the fundamental difference between weight loss and weight management is we all know how to lose weight. It's just having the willpower and the mental fortitude to do it. You reduce your caloric intake. It's not rocket science. This is why I don't have episodes on things you must eat to lose weight. Because we all know what we need to do to lose weight. We know we should avoid sugar. We should avoid Coke. We should eat more produce. Stay away from the middle aisle foods. I mean, we all know this. So why don't we do it? Why are 65% of Americans overweight, 40% obese? Psychological. We're not purging the childhood trauma. We don't do a lot of introspection as to why we're putting food in our mouth. And look, I don't believe in the addiction model for overeaters. I really don't, because I think it takes culpability away. We are responsible for what we put in our mouth. Simple as that. Nobody is holding me down in shoving food into my mouth. Yes, food porn, food additives, childhood trauma, emotional eating, stress eating, yes, these are all factors into me putting those 7 donuts in my mouth. But ultimately, it's volition. It's my will that is making me put the food in. Oh, that's psychological. So how do you succeed in weight loss and weight management? Don't ask your trainer, they don't know. Don't ask your dietitian, they don't know. Don't ask your doctor, he's probably overweight. They don't know. You got to strip all the BS away. It's all up here. And it's your childhood. And we have to disorder or reorder the disordered relationship we have with food. Easier said than done, of course. But step number 1 is acknowledging that. Acknowledging that there's a wound that we have from childhood that needs to be fixed. Once you acknowledge that, then you know what your goal is. Like, there's the mountain. I want to climb the mountain. That's the goal. You know the goal. Now we have to do the hard steps to do it. But let's admit it. Let's stop saying it's the metabolic thing, it's the thyroid, or I can't work out. 80% of losing weight is diet. There's people who lose weight all the time without exercising. It's better when you exercise for your overall heart benefit and other benefits, and you burn more calories. But no, these are all excuses. Our worst enemy is our mind. And the better and sooner we come to that realization, the quicker we can really get to effective results with weight loss and weight management. Guys, post in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.